Hello, and welcome to Universal Mixing, a method of mixing that uses two components. One, balancing your noise elements to the spectrum of noise, and two, utilizing universal rules. In this series of videos, I will show you how universal mixing will make your entire mix process efficient, quick, and easy. I will also show you how universal mixing will make using all of the other plugins that you already own easier, faster, and more fun as well. So without any further ado, my name is Menno, and this is Universal Mixing. So first I want to show you 3 and 5, because it's one thing for me to talk about 3 and 5, it's a whole nother thing for me to show you 3 and 5 and how they have always been a part of your music. Level planes have actually always been a part of your music, you've just never used them until now. Okay, so here I have 3 tracks of white noise. I have pink noise, brown noise, a 440 tone, a 432 hertz tone, and an arbitrary 424 hertz tone, okay? Now, all of these tracks have a mixed monolith on it, and they are all set to minus 25 LUFS. So all of these tracks are the exact same volume. And then all of these tracks are being sent to this group track with a meter on it so we can check the integrated LUFS. So I can show you 3 and 5. Let's begin. Here's white noise. 25 LUFS, no big deal. Let me add a pink noise along with that at minus 25 LUFS. You get an increase of 3. Now, what do you think will happen if we add brown noise along with that so we have all 3 parent noises? Do you think it'll go to 6? No. Watch. Minus 20, an increase of 5. It went from minus 25 to minus 20, a level plane. It has always been there, and it works the same thing with tones. So let's go here to a 440 tone. 25 LUFS. Let's add the 432 hertz tone along with that at 25 LUFS. An increase of 3. Now let's add a third tone, this arbitrary 424 hertz tone, and we get an increase of 5, a level plane. So 3 and 5 have always been there. Now I want to point out something. Mike Levine from Mix Magazine did a very wonderful article on Mixed Monolith earlier this year. And in that article, he mentioned, he goes, hey, it's very interesting that 5 is a level plane when 6 dB creates a doubling of volume in a tone, in a sound, and which is true. But that is actually based on an anomaly in the universe that is perfect stability doubles the energy of chaos. The universe is controlled chaos. And even though it doubles it, it still adheres to 3 and 5. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Here is white noise, okay, again at 25 LUFS. Now if we add another white noise along with that, we get 19, an increase of 6. Now if we add a third white noise to that, we get 15, an increase of 10. Perfect stability doubles the energy of chaos. So instead of 3 and 5, we get 6 and 10. Okay? Now, that's, like I said, it's based on an anomaly, and I'll show you why that's happening. What could possibly be creating this perfect stability that is doubling the energy that we should normally see at 3 and 5? Phase. Okay, so let me mute this. I have a single white noise again at 25 LUFS, and I'm going to put, I have auto align on it, which is a great plugin, and it is sending its phase signature out, okay? And I have a auto align on the second white noise, which was when we added it before, it gave us an increase of 6, and we have set that to just simply from 0 to just 0.02%. So just a 0.02 difference in phase. And what do you think we're going to get now? Do you think we're going to get 6? No. We are getting 3. So if we bring up this third white noise that gave us an increase of 10, and we have an auto align on that, and we're just going to go doink down 0.02. Now what do you think we're going to get when we play all 3? 10? No. We are now at 20 again. We are now at 3 and 5. Perfect stability doubles the energy of chaos. Now, this never happens in your mix. You never have perfect stability like that because there's going to be just slightly different phases and harmonics and things happening. Remember, all we did was change to plus 0.02 on one and minus 0.02 on the other, and it got rid of that anomaly. We got rid of perfect stability, okay? And the same thing happens with tones, except we're going to use something other than phase. So here we have, oops, let me get rid of that. Here we have the A440 tone, 25 LUFS, no big deal. Now we add the second tone, and again, we get an increase of 6. We add that third tone, the A440, right along with it. We get that increase of 10. So instead of 3 and 5, again, we get 6 and 10. But this time, how we're going to get rid of that perfect stability is we are going to bring up Sound Shifter. And let's just shift the cents by 10 cents, okay? You know what? Let's just shift it by 5. Now, we'll probably have a little bit of a chorusing, but look at what it tries to do. As it tries to stable out in the chorusing, look at where we're at. We're an increase of 3. Just a shift in 5 cents. Even though there was a chorusing going on, you could see it wanted to stabilize around 3. So now let's take this other one and bring up a sound shifter. And let's decrease that from the original down by 5. Okay? Now, what do you think we're going to get? 5. 3 and 5 have always been a part of your music. They are universal rules and they dominate. But where the 6 came in, which is from that anomaly, perfect stability doubles the energy of chaos. But even still, instead of 3 and 5, 6 and 10. 3 and 5 were still in play. Okay, now I'm going to show you something really cool, like how to use your level planes, right? So we have, let's just take these off for right now. Doesn't really matter. Not going to need them for what I'm going to show you. And let's go back to noise here. So when you're playing your tracks together, you know that two tones give an increase of 3. So here's a white noise and here's your pink noise, right? We have an increase of 3. Well, this is where using level planes in your music is really easy, and it makes things fun. So when you have, say you've double tracked a guitar, or you have 2 separate, string pads that are kind of playing the same thing, or even slightly together, but they're both set at minus 25. Well, together they're going to be this increase of 3, but you want them to sit on the level plane minus 25. So what do? Well, we go here, and we go here. And now we can use the fine trim fader to drop them both by 3 dB, or since we've already learned, we don't have to learn again, we can just simply type in minus 28. So minus 28, mix, minus 28, mix, and now what do we get? minus 25 right on the level plane, because minus 28 plus minus 28, increase of 3, sits right on the level plane. So it's an easy way to deal with your double tracking. Another thing that level planes make very easy is your reverbs and effects. This is because of the absolute domination of 3 and 5 in the leveling process. Okay, so we already know that 3 elements played at minus 25 LUFS gives us an increase of 5 dB. And we already know that 2 elements played at minus 25 LUFS gives us an increase of 3 dB. Well, here's the really interesting thing. That 3 dB is controlled by 5 level planes of 5 dB each. 25 dB worth of information is packed into and controls that 3 dB. It's wild. Okay, so for this example, we are going to use an A440 tone to represent our reverb and effect, and we are going to bring up an white noise to represent our element, our guitar, vocal, keyboard, whatever. Okay, so they are both set to minus 25 LUFS. So of course they're going to give us an increase of 3 dB. Now, how much do you think this will drop when we drop our tone, our reverb, whatever, by 1 level plane, by 5 dB? So from minus 25 to minus 30. How much do you think it'll drop? Mix, let's check it out. Mm, 23.8, 23.9. Okay, how about another level plane from minus 20 or minus 30 to minus 35? So we've gone down, 35. Mix, we've gone down 2 level planes now, 10 dB. We're at like 24.6, minus 24.7. Okay, we're almost back down to minus 25. But how about 3 level planes? So from minus 35 to minus 40. This is 15 dB of information that we've dropped in our reverb. Where are we at? We're basically right back at minus 25 LUFS. There's hardly any increase in volume. We've come down 3 level planes, 15 dB, and we're just barely an increase in volume from minus 25. Now, this is where you should run your reverbs and effects, stuff like that, if you want them to sound transparent. Okay, so on your auxiliary send, you've probably put a high and low pass filter before your reverb, and then you've done some equalization after that, because again, you know, even though it's a reverb, if you can hear it, it's a noise. You want to balance that noise to the spectrum of noise. And this is where at minus 40, 3 level planes down from the original is where you set your reverbs if you want them to sound transparent, because there's hardly any, virtually no increase in volume. Now, if you want them to be very transparent, you go down 1 more level plane, 4 level planes from the original, you go down 20 dB. Okay, so we'll go to minus 45. And let's see where we're at right now here. Basically no increase in volume. Okay. And of course, let's go down 5 level planes, which is minus 50. So 5 level planes of 5 dB. And again, there's no increase in volume. Now, you may be saying, well, hey, that tone is so low. I mean, you can still hear it. That tone is so low, of course you're not going to have any increase in volume. No. Let's take this up. So instead of minus 25, let's go to minus 10. So this might be a little loud in your headphones, but minus 10, mix. Let's take this one up to minus 10 to start with. Okay, boom. Now, when we play these together, we should get, with an increase of 3, since they're playing together, we should see minus 7. Ooh, which we do. Now, when we go down 5 level planes, 25 dB, 5 level planes of 5 dB, which 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, okay? Now, we are still going to hear the tone, and we should be at 10. Okay, so you can still hear the tone. Now remember, 3 level planes down from that is where you want to run your reverbs if you want them to be transparent. So 10, 15, 20, 25. Let's go to minus 25. Mix. And here, I'll move this over here. Now let's hear, and we should see barely an increase in volume. It'll probably be minus 9.9, minus 9.8. It's wild. 5 level planes of 5 dB controls that 3 dB. 25 dB worth of information is packed into that 3 dB and controls it. 3 and 5 dominate this process. They dominate. It's interesting. So anyways, now that you've seen that 3 and 5 dominate the leveling process, let's move over to some music, and I will show you how 3, 5, and the addition of the number 1, these 3 universal rules, 1, 3, and 5, dominate the equalization process. All right, here we are at the fun part. So I just showed you how 3 and 5 dominate the leveling process. Now I'm going to show you how 3, 5, and the additional universal rule of 1 dominate the equalization process. So COS Pro is a Hyper-EQ, which means that unlike a traditional EQ that uses primary, secondary, and tertiary frequency colors, which are also dominated by 1, 3, 5, and we'll talk about that in a bit, a Hyper-EQ uses noise to drive the equalization process. So it's very efficient, meaning we are going to deal with our noise elements utilizing noise. And when we do that, we use elbow points. And an elbow point is just when you have white noise and you're going to bend to pink noise, this crossover point, this bend, we call that an elbow point. Now there is a primary block of elbow points consisting of 3 tiers. Our tier 1 are the elbow points that we will use over and over and over again. They are the main elbow points, and they consist of 1, 3, and 5. Now, how they show up on COS Pro, like we only hear from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, so we can't use anything below that. But if we did, it would be 10, and then we begin here at 30, 50, 100, 300, 500, 1K, 3K, 5K, and 10K. And then since we stop at 20, we can't do 30 and 50K. So these are our tier 1 elbow points, and we have 9 of them. Now, tier 2 is derived from our tier 1 elbow points. So what is 3 plus 5? 8. What is 3 times 5? 15. 8 and 15 are tier 2 of our primary block of elbow points. And how they show up here on COS Pro is 80, 150, 800, 1.5K or 1500, 8K, and 15K. And there are 6 of them. Tier 3 is comprised of our tier 1 elbow points as well, but it's 1 plus 3 plus 5. It gives us 9. 9 is tier 3 of our primary block of elbow points, and there's only 3 of them: 90, 900, and 9K. Now, isn't it interesting that the number of elbow points in the 3 tiers of our primary block are 3, 6, and 9? 3 and 5 dominate everything. They are everywhere, even in our primary, secondary, and tertiary frequency colors. Because if on a traditional EQ, if you want to find your primary frequency colors, you take pi 3.14, notice anything interesting? And you double it repeatedly. So 3.14 becomes 6.28, 12.56, 25.12, 50.24, and so on and so forth. These are your primary frequency colors. Your secondary frequency colors are in between that. Now, if you don't want to do the pi math, you can go to our website, go to our downloads page, and you can download this frequency chart, this frequency color chart. And it already has the primary, secondary, and tertiary frequency colors printed out for you. So that way you don't have to do the pi math, and it just makes it easy, and you can refer to this whenever you need to. Now, using COS Pro and your primary block of elbow points in universal mixing is incredibly easy. And we're going to start with vocals, okay? So let's get rid of all of this stuff here. And we are going to solo this, and here we have a raw vocal.
I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you.
Ooh, sounds pretty dull. And that's because when we recorded it, we didn't put any compression on it. We didn't put any EQ on it. We just wanted a good raw signal going into the DAW. Because once it's in the DAW, you know, we can do whatever we want to it. So this way we're not committed to anything, all right? So what we're going to do first off is add a de-esser, and the SPL, I like this one a lot, to handle any excess sibilance that might be there. And then we're going to bring up COS Pro, and we are going to right-click. Let me move this over. We're going to right-click and change our spectrum smoothing from 50% to 100%. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want the EQ to react very smoothly. I want a nice smooth EQ so we can smoothly balance this noise element. Remember, even though it's a vocal, can you hear it? It's a noise. This noise element along a spectrum of noise. And what we're going to use for that is minus 4.5. And I use this for all vocals, male, female, big voice, small voice, it doesn't matter. Minus 4.5 works beautifully, okay? So let's go back here to the beginning and have it get a good look at it.
I don't want it.
And while it's kind of doing that, I'm going to take my time in doing this because I want to explain the reason why we want to balance this, our raw signal first off to noise is because all of our, whether it's plugins, whether it's hardware, all of these things are just tools that react to noise energy. They react to and manipulate noise energy. So when you feed them balanced noise, they are going to function optimally. Even your AI plugins are only as intelligent, only as powerful as the algorithms that were used to write them. And a lot of times when they created those algorithms, they created them by feeding them noise. So once we do this, whatever we do after that, which I'm going to show you, we're going to do like 4 different things. Hardware, plugins, whatever, they're all going to react beautifully. We're going to get the best results out of them because we are feeding them balanced noise. All right. So anyways, let's freeze that. And we're just going to stop it too. Put the volume back up. Excuse me. So if we click back to 50, we can see what we want to do. We're kind of close. We want to bring this up. We want to bring, here's the throat is actually right in here. So this is the chest. The throat's right about in here. Here's the nose up here, and then the air. So go back to 100%. Let's put an elbow point at 300. We're just going to use our tier 1s. So elbow point at 300. And we want that to be a roll off. So we're going to set that to 9. And then let's just go, and let's just follow minus 4.5 to start with. All right, we're still at 100, and we'll click conform. Let's go back to 50. All right, it's kind of there. So I want to bring this up. So let me put an elbow point at 500. And let's put that to white. And when we do that, this is going to come up too, and I want that to come down. So for right now, let's put an elbow point at 1K. And let's just set that to brown for right now. Okay, go back to 100%, conform, see where we're at. It's pretty good. Let's go down to minus 7.5 on this one. 100, click. Okay, that's better. Let's bring this up. You know what? Let's do see where minus 1.5 is to start with. All right, we're getting there. Let's go to white. Much better, but we're way high here. So let's go elbow point at 5K. And let's put that to 9 as well. All right, and see how our EQ is nice and smooth? Okay, now we want to go down, but I don't want to go down further here, so let's put an elbow point at 3, okay? And let's put that to pink. Nice. That's better. Now if you need to fine tune, so let's go here, let's fine tune this one up here. We'll just bring that up. I'm a perfectionist, and you can be too, very easily. And let's just drop this little guy here down. Yeah, there we go. And you know what? Let's check something. Let's check this over here. Let's go to -12, or excuse me, just 12. And let's bring that down. All right, it's touching there, and it's a little bit high here. So, you know, we can do it. We could either put an elbow point, but we're just going to really quickly grab this and just drop it down. And smooth this out. Cool. All right, so, and since we added volume, let's just go down by 4. Just drop some volume so that we're not blasting out our ears. Okay, so here's before.
When you looked at me, girl,
and what we just did.
I needed you. Would you come to me? Tell me what you feel when I'm with you.
Before.
I don't want anybody else.
Yeesh.
From the first time I looked at you.
Nice. See, and that's how easy that was. We just use elbow points, and in order to have a nice smooth EQ, we used the ceilings and all that at 100% spectrum smoothing, went back to 50 just to check to make sure we're following -4.5. And again, every vocal, and I'm going to be showing you many songs and background vocals, everything, a good raw noise element, vocal noise element, -4.5, okay? And we're very close to where we would want to be at the end. We're either going to be at pink, -4.5, or brown, depending on the, you know, the type of, the genre of music. Is it a rap, you know, spoken word type stuff, or is it, you know, pop singing, or is it jazz, whatever. But we're going to be right in that realm, that range anyways. So let's copy this over to these guys here. All right, so I took what we did and I copied it over to these 4 tracks. And then I did a final level adjustment so that whatever plugin comes next in the chain will be hit at its optimum level. I left a cushion of -0.3 in case there's any overrun errors, which they do in mastering as well. But I wanted to make sure we're hitting whatever comes next at its optimum level. Now on this first track, I brought up EZMix, which is an AI type plugin. And I just chose a random rock vocals tape, a random preset. On this next one, I brought up XVox, which is a AI plugin, chose a preset, and then just took off the effects. On this third one, I brought up an SSL channel strip, and we will be making adjustments here. And on this very last one, I just brought up a stock compressor, okay? Now, I wanted to demonstrate how if somebody has they're using stock plugins from their DAW because they haven't had the time or resources to buy plugins, that's not a problem. With COS Pro, balancing out that noise element against noise, and then hitting the compression stage, and then COS Pro after that to finalize, that's all you need. All right, so let's begin with this first one. Now, as I mentioned before, when you feed your AI plugins a balanced noise signature, they will work optimally. And I'm going to show you that right now. So let's bypass the correction we did. And here is the EZMix preset with the raw vocal.
I don't want anybody else from the first time I looked at you.
Corrected.
My heart was pounding and I saw the whole world in your eyes.
Bypass.
I knew that I had to have you. I want to be in your arms.
See that it makes all the difference when you feed your plugins properly balanced noise. They will all function optimally and beautifully. Okay, so let's continue on here. So we have, let's bring up this COS Pro. All right, so we've learned it now. This is the signature after EZMix, and we want to check it and balance it where we want things to be. So let's put a elbow point here at 300. And this is kind of a pop song, and for rock pop, a lot of times you're going to be following Pink. Now, you could just follow Pink all the way, but we put an elbow point at 300 and we want to flatten it out. Okay, so this is where we want to be. Now you can tell we're kind of close. We're pretty close there, a little bit down here. So we don't even have to listen to it. We'll just make adjustments real quickly here. All right, 300. I'm a perfectionist, and it's down just a little bit. That's good. Let's bring this up. Now let's just go from here. Bring that up there. Bring this down. All right. And now we want to check this right here. And we want this part here to follow 4/5. All right, we're just a little bit up there, so we'll just grab this and just doink down a bit. All right, now you can go a little bit more. There we go. And we want this part here, oops, I'm gonna stay here. We want that to be white noise all the way up until 1K. So it's almost there. It's white. Now we'll just drop it down just a smidge. Okay, and we do that. You know what? Let's just bring this down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Let's put it back up, see where we're at. Whoops, we need this back at Pink. Okay, now, when we did that, it dropped this down a bit. Bring that back up just a smidge. And maybe not quite that far. There we go. Okay, now we want to check this here. And we want 9 for the overall. Okay, and it's just below, it's fine. We could bring it up if we want perfect. All right. And let's check from here to here. Normally you could do 18, which is basically 9 doubled there. But I don't want to carve out that much, so we're going to go to 16.5 because I kind of like some of that low end weight. Okay, yeah, and that's right where it's at. And then from here to here, we're going to use 27. And hey, that's right where we're at. Cool. All right, so now we've just balanced that out. Let's give it a listen.
I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you, my heart was pounding, and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have you.
Nice.
I want to be in your arms.
Now, the beautiful thing is the real power of COS Pro and the real power of universal mixing and balancing your noise elements to the spectrum of noise using noise is where you are going to be. That is not where you hope to be, where you think you're going to be, where you want to be. That is where you are going to be. Okay, so imagine in life when it comes to something, success. If you just knew ahead of time, you knew exactly where you were going to be. Think of how free you are. You're completely free because now it's like having an infinite lane highway where you could just experiment with different lanes and you could lane split and drive backwards, do whatever you want, and just have a lot of fun because you know in advance that every single lane of this infinite lane highway leads there. That's where you're going to be. Ooh, that is power and that is freedom. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make sure that all the other ones balance this. Even with SSL channel strip, this is where we're going to be. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, so let's bring over COS Pro. And here's the noise signature after the XVox plugin. And again, we are going to put a elbow point at 300. And we are going to move this to pink. All right, let's see where we're at. Now, we are way up over here. We're going to bring this up. We're down a bit here. So now what you could do is you could actually go here to your plugin and start making adjustments. And that would mean, you'd have to bring up COS Pro, which is fine, however you want to work. So you'd, make adjustments, click here, make adjustments, click here, check it, and then do final, tuning here. But for right now, because it's just so much faster, we're just going to make all of the extra adjustments here. All right. So let's go 300 and bring this down. And then we're probably going to want to clear this up a little bit. Maybe bring it up a little bit, bring that down. All right, bring this up. Bring this down. See where we're at. Oh, we need to go up a little bit more here. Okay, now let's check that. Okay. All right, cool. Let's check the white noise, for this right here up to 1K. All right. Ooh, okay, let's bring that down. Bring this down a bit. All right. Check this one more time now. Oh, we got to bring this. That's cool. Bring this up. See, we can work in any environment. If your ears are tired, no problem. Just a smidge up there. You know what? Let's just go right here. It'll do the same thing. There we go. All right, let's check this. And remember, we were 9. For the overall, ooh, we're way down. And we want all of these to kind of balance out. So let's just start sculpting. Very easy to do. Bring that up. Yeah, that'll probably come up. All right. Let's check this next one, which was 16.5. Yep, we can come up to there. Yeah, a little bit more. Just that perfectionist in me. All right, and 27. And we're pretty much there. All right. Check this one more time. All right. Move this out of the way, and let's give it a listen.
I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you.
Before?
My heart was pounding, and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have you.
Nice.
I wanna be in your arms.
Very nice. Okay, now let's go here to the SSL. All right, let's go get our COS Pro. And we'll set it up next to it here. Okay. So, you know what? Let's bring this volume down just a wee bit, just for now. Okay. So let's play, and we're going to start making adjustments. Oh, first we need our 300 and pink. All right. So let's start making some adjustments. And remember, when you EQ, just using a regular EQ or just EQing, EQ subtractively. So if we need to bring something up on the high end, we'll probably bring it down on the low end. All right, let's see where we're at.
I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's start over here. Let's bring...
My heart was pounding, and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have
100.
you. I wanna be in your arms.
Bring that down like 15.
The way you looked at me, girl, said I needed you. Would you come to me? Tell me what you feel when I'm with you.
Nice.
I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you.
Cool. All right, let's we can bring down something here in the 1K.
Pounding,
so we'll leave this at 1.5.
I knew that I
1K. Let's go down 3.
I wanna be in your arms. The way you looked at me, girl, said I needed you. Would you come to me? I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you.
Yeah, let's do 1.5
My heart
on this
was
guy.
pounding, and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have you.
Come down.
I wanna be in your arms. The way you looked at me, girl, said I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you.
You know, once we get close, see, that's the beautiful thing. We'll get close, and then we'll just do whatever we need to do to fine-tune it very easily. So we can impart, without a whole lot of effort, we can impart the harmonics of an SSL channel strip and an SSL EQ, but still just have the freedom knowing exactly where we're going to be and just have the freedom of just equalizing easily. You know what I'm saying? Oh, one I forgot. Let's do something first. Okay, the first thing we want to do is let's add some compression because we haven't done that yet. And we're just going to do the SSL compression trick, which is really simple. So we will go here to take the threshold and put it all the way down, put your ratio all the way up, leave this exactly as it is, and we're going to start bringing up the ratio until we see 3 or 6, okay? And then we can check this again afterwards in case it changes it just slightly. All right, let's do this.
I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you. My heart was pounding, and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have you.
Nice.
I wanna be in your arms.
I like the way that sounds. Let's see without it.
The way you looked at me, girl, said I needed you. Would you come to me?
You go hits 10 on the high ones, but yeah, I like that.
When I'm with you.
Again, let's see here.
Anybody else. From the first
leave that
time
at 8.
I looked at you.
And let's go down 3 here. See what that
My
does.
heart was pounding, and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have you. I wanna be in your arms. I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you.
Much better.
My heart was pounding, and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have
And then, of course, we're going to
you.
do the same thing where we're going to be at
wanna
minus
be
4 or
in
5 here.
your
We want to be at white over here. These guys are there, 9,
The way
16,
you
5,
looked at
and
me,
27.
girl,
So we're going to
said
do that
I
right
needed
afterwards, you know,
you.
because it's just a matter of
Would you
bands, 31
come
and
to
50 bands. You know, you
me?
got 31 and
Tell
50
me what
bands
you feel
versus, you know,
when
4
I'm
bands, 2
with
parametric, 2 shelves, which is
you.
not bad, but it's just it's a
I don't
matter of
want anybody
number of
else.
bands, okay?
From the first time
So
I looked to you.
let's freeze that. And we can even stop this while we do it. So let's go here. Bring this down a bit. All right. And we can bring this down a bit. And we'll start at 1. Cool. Bring this up. All right. Let's check this right here. Our minus 4.5. See, we can come up a little bit here. And boink. All right, let's check our, check our white noise here. See, and we're a little low, so we can actually bring this up. We're right at 1K here. That looks good. Cool. All right, check again here. Whoops, bring this up to pink. All right, now we can bring this up again. We'll do it from here. All right, and let's check 9. Couldn't be any easier. Let's bring it down a wee bit. Oh, the light's in here. All right. Bring this up. Now we just do it this way. And we'll see where we're at here. Let's go to 16. Yeah, 16.5. And we're almost right there. And it also goes on how does it look? You know what I mean? All right, let's go over here to 27. Because when you're dealing with noise, if it looks good, it's going to sound good too. And we can come up just a smidgen right at that crossover there. All right. Let's listen. Let's actually bring up our level as well here.
I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked to you.
Bypass
My
everything.
heart was pounding, and I saw the whole world in your
We
eyes.
have to do level, but
I knew that I had to have you. I wanna be in your arms.
sounds great.
The way you looked at me, girl, said I needed you.
All right. Let's just go over here to this one. So all we did was we still have our correction, right? Where we balanced the raw against minus 4.5. And we brought up a compressor and we just had a stock preset. And we have our COS Pro Okay, so 300. And this one, we're just going to do, since we're only dealing with COS Pro, again, we'll just do this one in silence, just because we can. So let's start there, and let's just start going. Drop this down. All right, drop this up. We'll go from 1. Bring this up. All right, let's see where we're at. All right, let's check our 4.5. Let's do the same thing we did the other stuff. All right, and let's do 1, or excuse me, white up to 1K. This makes working really easy. All right, cool. Let's move this back up. Move this back up. All right, that kind of changed this. So we know that if we take from 1, all of this goes down together. All right, so we'll just do that. Straighten it out. Looks good. Grab this. Good. Okay, now let's do our 9. Well, actually, you know what? Let's start the other side. Let's go 27 first. And we can go down a wee bit. All right. Crossing right there. All right, let's do our 16.5. Work like this with another EQ. We're just shaping our noise. And check 9. Yeah, it looks cool. All right, let's listen. Now let's solo it real quick.
I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you,
Bypass there. Sounds dull.
my heart was pounding, and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have you.
Okay, now let's do this real quick. Let's bring up these guys. All right. Now, if we were going to do like all of the, the entire song, we'd bring up all 4. And we only need to hear 1. Whoops. There we go. Just to kind of know, let's go back to the beginning of that. Back up a bit so we have a run.
I don't want From the first time I looked at you, my heart was pounding,
And they're still learning.
and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have you. I wanna be in your arms.
So we get done. This will tuck it on a level
The
plane.
way you looked at me, girl, said I needed you. Would you come to me? Tell me what you feel when I'm with you.
All right. Mix, 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 mix. Now, you want to hear something really cool? Okay. So we're going to start with this guy and check this out. Okay. We're going to go back to the beginning. Actually, we'll just loop this, and I'm going to switch between them as they're playing. Check this out.
I don't want anybody else. From the first time I looked at you, my heart was pounding, and I saw the whole world in your eyes. I knew that I had to have you. I wanna be in your arms. The way you looked at me, girl, said I needed you. Would you come to me? Tell me what you feel when I'm with you.
That is the epitome of work smarter, not harder. I mean, when you balance your noise elements to the spectrum of noise using noise and you set them on a level plane, but just, oh my goodness, choose. Which one did you like better? That's really what it's going to come down to. Which one did you like better? Because you already know where you're going to be. So you can blow the dust off all of your plugins, use whichever ones you want. Pick a lane, experiment, jump lanes, whatever, because all lanes of your infinite highway lead there. Oh, that's freedom. All right, so I'm going to keep showing you stuff, excuse me, like backgrounds and you know where you're going to be and all these different things. And then with this song, I'm also going to be showing you the drums. We're going to be doing that, guitars, everything. And you're going to see how everything is just noise, balanced to the spectrum of noise. And then we're going to be using our primary block of elbow points. And most of the time, we're just going to be on tier 1. It's insane. This is so easy. With the right tools, this process is okay. So let's continue on.